welcome back. Peace to the guys and goddesses. I'm about to eat some fruit. Got us some organic kiwi. I almost said mango, but I do have some mangoes right here. We're gonna eat some fruit. We're gonna talk about, this is mainly for the goddesses, but we're gonna talk about divinity and some things that I do that help me tap into my goddesshood, into my divinity, my sacredness. Ooh, look at all them seeds. So first things first is modesty. The first thing for me was modesty. I realized that I wasn't holding my body as sacred as I should just by the clothes that I was wearing. I was just so used to being revealing and wearing tight clothing. It wasn't too crazy. I realized that that was a huge issue, and it also affected the way that I was viewed by people. Now, of course, as women, we are over-sexualized from a young age, especially if you were like me and you went through puberty early. So over-sexualization is something that I have dealt with from a very young age. People do not look at the mind. It's purely just physical most of the time. So modesty was one of the first things I started doing when I started stepping into my divinity, into my goddesshood. After that, and this is like I said, this is just for me, what I have done. I'm a water sign. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I'm very sensitive to energy. Well, I actually do have some aspects that say that as well, if you're into astrology. This kiwi is delicious. I realized that I was becoming more aware, and consciously I'm trying to become more aware of myself, actions, different things like that. And now that I know the technologies of the hair, I was just subconsciously doing things. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start covering my hair. I'm gonna start covering up my locks when I'm in public. Most times when I'm on videos and stuff like that, because my hair is already covered. So I'm gonna start covering my hair. I started covering my hair about 2 years ago. After an encounter of a woman touching my hair, she touched it before asking. I was just like, we were already in an elevator with a lot of people, and it made me feel extremely uncomfortable. I realized how sensitive I was to energy, and I'm picking up on energy and thoughts and everything. I'm like, let me start covering my antennas. Let me cover my antennas. Now, mind you, when I'm outside in the sun, your antennas, they need sun, they need air, they need all of that. So I don't always cover my hair. But when I'm around a lot of energy, I do cover my locks. You have to protect your energy, protect your aura, protect your antennas. You have to. You absolutely have to. Now, another thing I started doing is I started listening to more conscious music. I was never one to really listen to too much rap or different type of artists that are talking about absolutely nothing. But I started, being more conscious, period. Being more conscious of everything. So my music choices, I started off listening to, I started off listening to Londrell. Now, Londrell, he makes some very great music. That's one of the first conscious artists I tapped into. And then I think Free Soul and Spiritual Tony shortly after. Before I got put on with Imagination Carbonation Productions, that's what I was listening to. So yeah, being more conscious of the music that I'm listening to. And then I stopped watching Netflix, movies, TV shows. I was never really into that. I started sticking to YouTube, and I started researching and looking up videos, travel videos, astrology, different things like that really will help me study myself. not just doom scrolling, trying to watch movies, distract myself. I started feeding myself better knowledge. I started being more conscious of how I was spending my time, more aware of how I was wasting or spending my energy. Because whatever you give focus to, it grows. And I really started to feel that. And I forgot to mention, one of the first things that I actually did was going vegan. Now, dis-ease is just your body not being at ease. Disease is not really a thing. You can't have a dis-ease. Your body can only be at dis-ease. So back in 2021, I had a lot of inflammation, so much inflammation. I went into sepsis. If you know what sepsis is, or you can research it. But from my understanding, it was something, it's when you get very, very sick and a lot of things stop functioning. So by the time that I went to the hospital, I wasn't able to eat. I wasn't able to use the restroom myself. A lot of things had shut down for me. It was a very, very sad and dark time for me. And after being in the hospital for 2 weeks, I made the decision, very hard decision for myself. And that's why intuition and listening to your intuition is so important, because if I would not have made that decision, I don't know what state I would be in right now. And that's just honest. My biological mom was there helping me. She was cleaning up after me after I was using the restroom. It was very, mind you, I'm like 20 something years old. I'm in my early 20s and I'm extremely sick due to stress and what I am eating. So it caused inflammation in my gut area, viscera, which is where your immune system is. And I made the decision to leave the hospital after 2 weeks. And I told them I was going home to smoke my herb. And yeah, I'm looking into Dr. Sebi. And that's exactly what I did. I started making my body as alkaline as possible. Of course, the herb, it's so sacred. Don't abuse the herb, okay? Don't abuse the herb. But I use that to heal, and also to suppress the pain. I was in extreme, excruciating pain, and they were giving me narcotics, and I was like, what? When I have the herb right here. So completely changing my diet and my mindset, knowing that I'm free from any dis-ease, that I control my body, I control my cells, that I can heal. I have melanin, I can heal. So your mind, all is mental. Your mind is extremely important. Changing your mind first, and then everything else will follow. It starts with your mind. So start reprogramming your mind, reprogramming your subconscious to what you want it to be, to the natural state of living, getting in tune with earth, Christ consciousness, knowing that all is mental. The laws of the universe, just tapping into divine knowledge. I start tapping into esoteric knowledge, occultism, like tapping into the divine knowledge. Like, that's what you gotta do. That's what you gotta do. And then tapping into Chief helped me tap deeper into myself. Everything's gonna bring you back to yourself. But those are just some tips to help you tap into divinity as a god and as goddesses. Get back sacred with that righteousness, knowing that you are God, and holding yourself accountable. Step into divinity. Yes, knowing that you're a righteous God body, and truly loving yourself. Loving yourself is feeding yourself the best foods, all organic, best information, connecting to the earth, hanging around people that enlighten you. Putting yourself in an environment where you're closest to the sun. But that's all reflections. I love myself.